look at that grey day. Look at it. Awful. Anyway, I'm Lorien. I'm a tarot reader and general busybody in the way of the occult. I'm here to bring you your monthly tarot readings for your individual signs. Thank you so much for those who have actually subscribed. I wanted to give a personal note to you for that. And also, if you'd like any more general, sorry about that, bird flew past. If you'd like a personal reading, please get in touch with me. If you have any spiritual questions, I'm always on hand. Please don't hesitate to get in touch. And hopefully I'll have a video camera next week. So more readings to come. Hello Pisces, thank you for tuning into your June forecast for the month of, June. I'm just going to look at the first 4 cards first of all. Each card represents approximately a week of energy for the month of June, and then the bottom card is all about what is going on overall. If you'd like a personal reading with myself, you can email me. You can also check out my Etsy shop to see if there's anything that you want to go in more depth with over the course of the month. Well, let me just have a look now. I'm using the Druidcraft Tarot. It is it's a deck that's really personal to me in my practice, so I hope you're able to get some really good feedback from that. So let me have a look at what seems to be the theme for you, or whatever else I can get from it. Okay, so the first card being the Lovers. This doesn't always point to romance. This can point to partnerships with, with somebody else on your wavelength. It can also be joining up with your inner self, reconnecting with maybe a part of yourself that you haven't felt in a while. I would say that this is actually something of a balance between the male and female and yin and yang for you. Even approach and avoidance, because it may be something that you have been wanting to recapture for a while, but you've not really felt like you have the strength to do so. This can be quite frustrating and quite intimidating sometimes, and I just think that this is a time that you'll be able to really reconnect with that loving feeling with yourself. This is a self-love card, and I would say that it's something that you will have the opportunity to really look at in more depth throughout this first week. It's possible that maybe you are feeling a bit topsy-turvy with regards to a relationship or a situation. It could be that your heart's telling you one thing, but then your head's telling you another. So in general, the best thing to do is to follow your heart when this card's concerned. So some people say there are only 2 modes of love and fear, and when you can, I think you should choose the love section of this. Again, working with a very special person or somebody who is very spiritual, that you have faith in, you actually can gain a lot from them, but I think you may be your own teacher in many ways. Don't be afraid to question yourself. Don't be afraid to question your heart, but do pay attention to what your instinct is telling you. Take what's offered, and generally remember the fact that you are here for a reason, and whether or not you know what the reason is yet doesn't really matter. Make the peace and the balance with yourself and recapture that which you may feel as lost, because in the second week we have the moon, and this indicates that things may seem a little bit confusing to you. You may find it hard to understand where you're coming from, much less what other people are thinking, and with you being one of the most intuitive psychic signs of the whole zodiac, this is not really a place that you feel comfortable being. I think if you did capture the rebalance in the first week, this would gradually clear up a few things in the second week. So the confusion would move away, and you would definitely be in a more intuitive phase than usual. So I think it will be important for you to trust your instincts and your impressions, even if you don't know the origin of where they're coming from. If you normally know whether it's your guide speaking, if you normally know that it's somebody else, maybe an angel that's around you, if you suddenly find yourself listening to this instinct and you don't know where it originates from, don't worry, because not only will you need to get over that mistrust? It will be helpful for you to realise that it's possible that everything is happening around you as it is intended. There are new people coming in, there are new players, and it will be gradually revealed to you step by step. Similarly, if you feel that you can't trust someone, then you probably can't. Go with your gut. Again, if you're waiting for an answer from someone, it may take longer than you would like for it to come through, and this is for a reason, and I think this is because this being a very spiritual time. It's a great time also to get a reading, not from me necessarily. You can come to myself, but I think it's just, even if you do a reading for yourself, although sometimes you can read into situations that aren't there, if you were able to get some insight from somebody or input from a spiritual person whom you trust, you will be more psychically open than usual now. And if you can pay attention to the signs around you, I think this is going to stand you in good stead, because this is going to be a great time in the third week for your metaphorical journey. This is a change in where you're coming from inwardly, and this is also a change for the better. Whether it's internal or external, you think about where you want to be. You are now coming out of the period of uncertainty into something a lot more depth based, I would say. Is you kind of going into a more of a realm of knowing who you are and what you want to gain out of life. It's very interesting to see what your personal year is, really, but generally this card shows that a slight reduction in stress and strain is due here. Things may not be perfect, but they're going to be a lot better than they may have been in the recent past. I think if you take this time to really steer where you're going and make sure that you know a direction that you're headed, even a short break or a change of scenery would be helpful. This doesn't have to cost money. It just means that you could even go to a local park and take some time out, because there are some spiritual answers that have eluded you and they need to come into your awareness. And I think the only way that they'll do that is if you not become secluded, but just kind of allow yourself to be guided as to where you need to go. So it's just changing routine. And also, I would say, pay attention to your dreams, because they often show you things that you may miss during your waking hours. If you can't pay attention to your guides, they will try and give you some information elsewhere. So this leads us through to the fourth week, and this is the Fool. The Fool, to me, I always say, is very misleading card sometimes, because I always get the feeling that he is very aware of what he's doing. He knows the direction that he wants to go, but to other people, the fact that he's taking that risk, or he's taking the steps that he does, or the fact that in some cards he's juggling too many things, to other people he may not seem like he's in control or looking where he's going, especially in this card, but he himself knows that he's on the right path. And this is almost a purity of heart and intuition, maybe a childlike excitement about something. And I think it is something that would indicate that there is, again, a deeper spiritual meaning. Or, for instance, starting a meditation practice or a group, and this needs to be considered over perhaps investing in a new pair of shoes. So the appearance of the Fool can depict a very important fresh start, and when it appears, I think you may want to try some different things. I think different approaches may be suiting you now. So if you don't feel like the meditation class is right for you, try another one. If you don't feel that somebody is doing you right and guiding you spiritually, go to someone else. I think don't get carried away in, that you're just shopping. I think you do need to get a deeper knowledge about what you need spiritually, and your friends, your family may not understand where it's coming from, but you have to do what's best for you, and this is your own path that's coming up here. The base message card overall, the wonderful Empress, or the Lady, she is basically feminine power, and if you are male and reading this, know that this is not a emasculating thing. It's just a case of understanding the mysterious fertile, even sexual things that you are going through at this point in time. This is the base energy that's coming through. It's almost like, oh, it's a woman's intuition. Women just know. You're going to be feeling that a lot this time. And I would also say that you are going to be much more attractive to people more than usual in every sense. Friendships, relationships, everything. And you're likely to find people on your doorstep. I think they may even want your advice, your shoulder to cry on. And this is because you're moving into the spiritual age now. And this will be beneficial as well, because I think you will now tune in or be able to see yourself more in the way that others see you. You have wisdom. You have a lot to offer. So share your stories. Share what's actually been before. Know that your wisdom and your caring and your spiritual insight is very valuable. Your intuition may well be trying to send you that message during this time. Don't be surprised if they go off and do their own thing and then come back crying to you because it didn't work. If they ignore your advice, it's absolutely fine. You're there to be a teacher and a spiritual guide. It will be important as well for you to listen. So when they come back and say, I did this and this always, you may be annoyed at them sometimes for actually going against what you said after you made the time and effort to give somebody, your best interest. But I think it's just another experience that you can add there. And the message that's coming throughout the entire month here is listen to your inner voice, develop this sense of being, and just really try and connect with who you are. I mean, it's looking very interesting. I can't really remember what the May one was for you, unfortunately, but it seems like you are going, now the days are getting longer for the Northern Hemisphere and the days are getting shorter in the Southern Hemisphere. It seems like you are trying to move into something deeper and more meaningful for yourself. And I would really look forward to hearing any feedback that you have about your spiritual experiences for June. And again, if you would like a more personal reading, if there's something weighing on your mind, or you may want me to look into a situation in more depth for you, do give me a do give me a ring, but I don't really have a phone. Do give me an email. Don't be afraid to get in touch, and also purchase from my Etsy shop if you want a reading that's already set out there. But yeah, it seems like it's going to be quite an in-depth month for you, very inner working, and in the meantime, take care, trust your inner voice, and I will read for you in July.